We did hear that Blumhouse would be premiering something on there. They would also be freaking, let's see, I'll just have that showing right there. They would also be, some people were given rumors that the first trailer for Sonic 3 might be there, and I was like, "Oh, I definitely got to be there." And even and sometimes we get announcements for movies that are turned video games we never knew about, like when Wonder Woman was going to get a video game, sometimes Spider-Man stuff. I was like, there's got to be something in here. And I think there was like really only like two video game things that were announced. We are going to talk about the Blumhouse games because that honestly was kind of the biggest surprise on what they announced. But one thing that they announced right before the actual Game Fest trailer, and this is a good thing I like about video game trailers, is they don't copy strike because it's not movie footage for some reason. But we had them announcing the PlayStation 2 The Thing game is being remastered and is being brought back to consoles. Now, this is a game I, for some reason, never played as a kid. I think I just didn't watch The Thing yet as a child, but I loved the PS2 era of video games, not just because there were so many classic games back then, but also because they were just so many video game movie tie-ins. Like that was the peak of like Ratatouille's coming out, Ratatouille video game. Incredibles is coming out, Incredibles video game, and it was just nonstop. And so they are remastering this game. I never played it. I like the cinematics. It looks really cool. So that's something I'm probably going to pick up and try to relive. Now, I did look at like some photos they released. Don't be expecting this to be like PS4 graphics. Let me see if I can find the actual thing. Some of it like yeah, that's still pretty much let me see here. The Thing remaster, that still pretty much reminds you of a PlayStation 2 game. Like that this is as high quality as the remaster goes, and so don't be expecting anything crazy out of it. But I was like, okay, for those of you who liked it and this is video game related, you're getting it back, and that should be fun. So I never played it. I'm gonna give it a chance. I love The Thing, the movie, and like, dude, I just miss those. I miss those kind of game covers. Like, just the movie poster and that PS2 logo on top. Dude, the endorphins that hit with something like that. Like, can you imagine if freaking, I don't know, what's a movie? What if there was like a Fall Guy, the video game? Movie was good, it was enjoyable, but dude, old me would have gone to Blockbuster, told my daddy I want to play the Ryan Gosling Fall Guy video game, and there probably would have been some fun levels in there, man. That's how I played most of my video games. I rented them from Blockbuster. Such a good old days. Such a good old days. Okay, but aside from that, let's go to discussing films because they had it all, and we'll just breeze by the important announcements that they had from Summer Game Fest. I'm not going to stick to everything here. Obviously, we're just going to stick to the movie stuff. So we already talked about the Thing remaster. That's going to be happening. From there, we got like some Lego stuff. I was like, okay, civilian. I was like, oh, dude, I'm happy for you. This Star Wars Outlaw game does look pretty cool. Right now, the Star Wars community is in a bit of a freaking, how do I say it? Is in turmoil. I know the Acolyte just came out. Don't even waste a super chat or a question asking me if I'm watching or looking at that thing, because just a casual Star Wars fan, and I'm not going to be watching The Acolyte. But I've been seeing so many people fighting over the show, and it's good, it's crap. Why is there a fire in space? As a casual fan, this trailer looked cool. So essentially, you're playing like a bounty hunter or like an outlaw, and you're stealing something. They make the Star Wars universe look really great. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Star Wars Outlaw. The gameplay looks nice. It looks like it's a very expensive game. I'm sure Star Wars fans will tell me in the comment section, Chris, it's actually not a good game because if you're a bounty hunter in space, fire can't be in space, Chris, okay? Dislike. They'll find a reason. They'll find a reason. But, for me, I was like, okay. All right, let's get on to this one then. Then we got the trailer for the new Arkham game. And I was kind of looking forward to that. I was like, okay, let me just search it up. Batman. Because they just released it. Okay, this is what they just released. So I'll have it playing here in the background so you can see it with me. Now, this is a new Batman Arkham game. The last of we saw Batman Arkham was in frickin' Justice League kills Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. And now they're like, okay, well, I know we killed that Batman. Is he back to life yet? Have they done that DLC yet? They're obviously going to bring him back to life. But anyways, what if we do a prequel Batman Arkham game? We only release it as a VR game on the Meta Quest, not the PlayStation VR, not an Oculus, only the MetaQuest Rift, and we make the main villain Rat King or Rat Catch or whatever. He keeps calling him Rat King in this thing. What are we doing? What are we doing with the Arkham franchise, buddy? Like, does the cinematics of this look absolutely breathtaking and beautiful? Yes. I like this whole trailer had my jaw on the ground going, "Oh, this is gorgeous. This is nice. I love this." But this is not what you're going to be seeing when you play the game. You'll put on the VR set and everything's going to be lowered down. If that was 4K, you're going to be playing in 720p essentially. I don't even own a MetaQuest. I know there's a lot of people out there that have fun with that. I don't know if it's my boomer brain or all that. See, like I'm already getting the L's in here, man. I'm happy if Santa brought you a MetaQuest, man. I don't have no MetaQuest. VR garbage. Yeah, see. If it'll be cool, I'll check it out. I remember I had fun playing the Iron Man VR game, but like the thing with those games is they just like I just can't play them for long periods of time. I could do like 40 minutes max, and then I just get a terrible headache. And again, I know that's a boomer problem. That's a me problem. 10-year-old out there can like play a VR game for freaking 30 hours and be like, "Mom's, when's my Dino Nuggets?" So I don't know. I was hoping they would actually just show us gameplay footage because I want to see this. Okay, it's like if you're only making it on the MetaQuest and you're doing a Batman VR game, let me see if it's at least going to be fun, right? If I'm actually going to be able to grapple through the city through VR, kind of like the Spider-Man VR game they had for a little bit where you can do that, bust out my gadgets. All right. But I don't know. They said they are going to release the gameplay trailer come at Gamescom. Don't know when that is, but that's when they're releasing the Gamescom. So that was like, okay, just Batman Arkham getting abused. We just want another Batman. Like, did you know they were working on a Batman Beyond game until they were just like, let's cancel that and let's do Suicide Squad versus the Justice League? I would have loved a freaking Batman Beyond game. All right, we're moving on from there. We just did that. All right, let's talk about the Blumhouse thing because the Blumhouse thing surprised me, man. So I really thought, and I'm sorry if I got anybody's hopes up, it's my fault, but if you remember the Jason universe, this thing that they're doing with the Friday 13th franchise where we can't get a movie, but we're going to give you everything minus the TV show, minus the movie or whatever. The people they were following, I'm like, okay, so these are some of the collabs that are up and coming. They're following Fortnite. They're doing the TV show with A24. It's probably going to be a Jason Voorhees Call of Duty skin coming up. And I was like, wait, they're following Blumhouse. I was like, why would they be following Blumhouse? They got multiverses on here and the Friday the 13th game. Jason is in multiverses and stuff like that. But I'm like, why are they following Blumhouse? They're not making a movie with them. They can't make a movie right now. So I was like, oh, that's right. Blumhouse is starting a video game division. And let me see here if I can pull it up. And they had their announcement at Games Fest. And I was like, oh, that's how we're going to get the new Friday the 13th video game. Blumhouse can't get the rights to the movie. They'll get the rights to the video game and do something fun. Turns out, no. They're not even making video games based off their movies, which is what I kind of thought they would do. You think about like an open world Purge game or a freaking what other ones that they have. There's like so many ideas that they get. Like an open world Purge would be cool. A Friday the 13th game if they can get the IP. They've got partnered up with Lionsgate, so they have access to other movies. Instead, they're taking their model of like low budget movies and doing that with video games. So they're going to be focusing on like indie projects and instead just giving them a spotlight. So these are all actually original IPs. They're going to play some of them here for you. It's like a bunch of them. But none of these are based on their movie. So there's no Megan video game, a Black Phone video game, Paranormal Activity, the video game. You could have easily done a Paranormal Activity video game similar to like the early Five Nights at Freddy's games. But no, they're not going to do that. And although I was shocked, and part of me was like, I really wanted to see some games based off your movies. Because, like I said, I love that era of games, of video game tie-ins. I guess this is a smart direction to go into. If any one of these games, because they announced like 5 of them, if any one of these games pops off, gets a following, people enjoy them, Sasuke, there's a Blumhouse movie right there ready to be cooked for you. I'll probably give some of these a shot. Like this one in particular, that reminds me of like a game in the 90s I probably would have played, But there wasn't anything that like 1,000% stood out where I was like, oh yeah, we should have expected it. They're not going to be coming out with AAA titles, super expensive games. They're going to do the same model they do with movies, low budget movies, high return. So low budget video games, hopefully a high return. So there are some people that maybe were disappointed with this. Like I saw, let me see, with my own, let's see. I put it out a tweet and I had a lot of people reply under it being like, "Oh, I wanted this, I wanted that." See, looks like they're going game publishing route. Let's see here. I don't want these original games. I want games on their franchises. We talked about that. I was expecting the Halloween game, so somebody wanted a Michael Myers video game and all that. Some people are also accepting it. They're like, "Oh, this is actually cool. I think this is way better." Yeah, like I think this is good. I just would have maybe if they get successful. I can't speak. If they get successful enough, we'll get a video game based on one of their movies. So there's that. They did though take the opportunity. Let me see if I can pull it up. They did take the opportunity to mention Five Nights at Freddy's. They were baiting us pretty hard with some Five Nights at Freddy's stuff in there. Because if you go to the Blumhouse game, if you go to the official Twitter account, which I'm not following here. They said something like, we're going to put the night in something. And I'm like, is it, let's see, Blumhouse, is it? I got to find the original tweet. Because I saw that and I was like, no, oh, here it is. They said, we're about to bring the night to game night. Join us now for exclusive updates and more. What other popular thing does Blumhouse have right now where the word night is a big part of the title? Five Nights at Freddy's. They knew what they was doing. They thought, even the comment section, I think, was filled with like Five Nights at Freddy's people were like, oh, night, you say? Night, Five Nights at Freddy's, okay. But no, Jason Blum did say this, though, when he was on stage about Five Nights at Freddy's 2. He said, you'll be very happy to know we're working at this very minute on the sequel to Five Nights at Freddy's. It's coming, don't worry. And that's something we already knew. So, yeah, we were hoping we'd get something like that. But no, I'm curious if you guys like that. From there wasn't much else that like really excited me. I know this Killer Bean game is like fascinating to some people. It became a meme where it's like this Killer Bean is an agent. Oh yeah, they did reveal the first trailer for the Among Us TV series. If you go to my YouTube Shorts, I posted my reaction to it. Honestly, I'm seeing very mixed reactions on the Among Us TV show. I'm seeing people are just thinking it looks dated. Apparently, there are artists who are already making Among Us animations on YouTube, and they're like, this looks exactly like something you'd find on YouTube that somebody created. They don't show any of the voice actors, like reveal their voices, but they do have the cast list. Let me see here. Oh, great. I broke it. I broke it, guys. Sorry about that. It could be fine. I do agree, though. Way too late. Way too late for an Among Us TV show. This should have came out last year or 2 years ago. I don't see anybody making Among Us memes, jokes, nothing. I'm like, the time has sadly passed. Hopefully it does good, though. Hopefully it does good. The Dune game did kind of surprise me. I don't think I was gonna play this Dune game, but the cinematics of it look kind of nice. So it takes place in a world where Paul Atreides was never born, and we're just seeing, I guess, what life is like then. Cinematics look pretty cool. I would have liked to have seen some gameplay. This definitely looks like Timothée Chalamet. Like, come on, that's freaking Chad out. Timothée Chalamet with a beard and everything. But it did pique my interest. I'm gonna want to wait for some gameplay. But there's some potential there in the Dune world. Aside from that, nothing else, my friends. Yeah, it was for as far as movie fans waiting for some Game Fest big announcements. There's kind of a snooze fest, you know. I was hoping the Blumhouse games would be the thing to knock us out, but it just didn't. Hopefully, some of these games turn out good, though. So, all right, let's move on now and talk about these next couple things.